Okay, YouTubers, this is Joe from ArtAlienTV on Sunday, the 26th of September 2021. And what I'm showing you today is a couple of gigapans I've done. Now, these are both of Sol 51. I've got this one here, which is a composite with the raw raw gigapan with an enhanced gigapan at the top and some image clips at the bottom. And then I've got the whole gigapan, which is actually really large, in this one. And this is the same area, but this is going right across over to this side. This is a panoramic, a complete panoramic, and goes right round. I'm not sure if it's 360, but it's close to it. It's something around 270 or something like that. And there's tons and tons of stuff to show here, and I'm going to try and keep this short today. I'm only going to show you the most obvious things that I've found, and I know for sure that there are dozens and dozens of other things, not only in the foreground, but in the background as well. Now, first of all, I'm going to show you this, because this was the main thing, the Mars ape, or baboon. Now, this may sound preposterous, but considering that I have found around 30 other ape specimens in Gale crater alone, and a few in Jezero crater already, even though it's only been there 6 months. I've already found a few there so far. But I found loads in Gale crater, and a lot of them are things like skulls. Some of them are carved, some of them look mummified, and sort of petrified as well. But a lot of them are quite small, some of them quite large, but most of them are small. This one I would say is medium sized, right? And this is it. And now I did initially show this in a video a long time ago. Now the date on this is October 12th, 2017. Okay, that's the date of this clip. But I actually did show it. I just realized in this video here, a whole month before that, in September of 2017, on September the 13th, Mars monkey and metal sphere. Now in this video, there's an actual monkey skull, as well as this one, which is right here. So the date on this gigapan here with this clip is actually a month out. I actually discovered this a whole month earlier, give or take a few days, and there it is. Now, if I show you it up close first, let's go back a little bit, just here. We've got a snout with a nostril, we've got a maxilla, a lower lip here, we've got teeth in there, in the mouth, there's the chin, there's an ear, we've got hair on the back, hairy texture, and it looks like some kind of ape. Now, it may be some other type of creature, but going by creatures that we have on Earth, it looks like some kind of baboon, or maybe a sort of hybrid sort of baboon, sort of gibbon or gorilla type primate, okay? This is a primate. It's not just a primitive animal. This is probably quite an advanced species, I would say, as primates usually are, quite intelligent, very dexterous. They can be quite vicious on Earth. Baboons can be quite vicious. Live in family groups normally, baboons, as do macaques and other types of ape. Usually live in family groups, not large groups. Macaques can live in huge groups, 50 or 100 even. But larger apes tend to live in smaller family groups, extended family groups, okay? There are dozens and dozens of them so far. Some of them skulls, some of them petrified and mummified. There's even one that looks a bit like a cross between a lemur and a gorilla, which is rather large, which is spotted thousands of miles from here, near the Spirit rover, okay? So these have been spotted on different locations, thousands of miles apart, on Mars, not just in Gale crater, but elsewhere on the planet, okay? So this is a phenomenon, or a group of species that were spread widely across the planet, and at one stage may have dominated the planet, animal-wise at least, okay? So here it is. Now, I'll show you up here where to look. I've marked it on here. This is the raw version, completely raw. There it is. Show you with a magnifier, and you can clearly see that ear, an eye, the snout, a mouth with teeth, and lower lip and chin coming round. That ear is quite clear, quite highlighted, okay? Now, the question is this actually a living creature? I don't think so. If it's anything like the other specimens I've shown and found, there's a lot of petrified animals. In other words, in this lake area, and you can see the lake area at the back here, in this lake area, there's very high mineral content in the ground, in the regolith, lots of sulfur, lots of bicarbonate minerals and sulfates, which preserve fleshy material very well indeed. We have a very similar area on Earth called Lake Natron in Africa, and anything that falls in it, because it's so salty and so full of minerals, anything that falls in it mummifies almost within days, or well, it literally crystallizes, and then over time these crystallized animals actually start to fossilize very, very quickly. Unlike the long-winded normal fossilization process where you fall in mud and then mud layers form on top and then you get compressed down and turned into a fossil that way. These are different types of fossils, I would say. They're petrified, they're crystallized and petrified and mineralized, okay? And in that process they also freeze as well because it's very cold. Okay, so there it is, behind this rock here, group of rocks, looking this way to the left, okay? So that's the baboon, and it really does look like a baboon. When you actually compare the morphology, it's not the same. This is Mars, of course. If you compare it to this is the closest I could find anyway, not only in colour, but also in sort of the way it's looking to the left here. Obviously this is from Earth, this one. Now pay attention to the ear and the eyes. Ear and eyes, okay? Let's go back a little bit. Better to go back a bit with this. There we are, get just the right distance. And the eye, even in the raw clip, is quite clear. You can see that beady eye there. And you can see the ear. The ear is almost the same shape. But the Earth baboon has got a longer ear. It's kind of more of a point to it just there. But it's very similar, okay? And the snout is much shorter on this one, whereas the baboon from Earth has a long snout which then comes out at the end, but it's very similar in shape. It's not as long, but it also has a very pronounced nostril on the end and a very similar upper maxilla and upper lip area, top lip area here, very similar. And then a very similar sort of shaped chin, almost identical shaped chin there if you compare that to this, which comes round and under. But this is not the same species, of course. I'm just comparing the two. Okay, we can only compare to things we have on Earth that we've seen before. You cannot compare things to things you've never seen. This is the only way you can do it. That's the simple fact of it. So there is the baboon. Now, like I said, it may not be a baboon, but I think it's an actual ape of some sort that's been petrified, possibly blast frozen when the atmosphere changed on Mars, and then literally it's probably partially crystallized and fossilized into a sort of petrified mummy. For all we know, this could actually be a living creature. We don't actually know. Just because NASA say that there's no life on Mars, or they've never actually said there's no life on Mars, they just said they're looking for signs of life, i.e. water and fossilized microbes and that kind of thing in these rocks. But that doesn't mean there wasn't already life there. They've never actually said that. They're very cunning, NASA, and they're lying by omission, literally, by not telling us what's happened there before. And there's loads of other crazy stuff here. There's also this thing, which looks like some kind of fossilized thing. I don't know what it is, but it looks technical, like some kind of techno-fossil with these parts to it. No idea what it is, but it looks like something, perhaps part of some sort of mechanical object or something that's encased and encrusted in mud, which is then dried out and hardened. There's also this thing. Now, this is a new clip of this I've done. Now, I found this also back in 2017, and this is, I think, a damaged head, either of a statue or another petrified specimen. There are many of these on Mars. I've shown hundreds so far, so they do exist. If you don't think they exist, have a look at my playlists, like Mars Planet of the Apes, or Mars statues and Mars mummified specimens and that kind of thing. If you look at my playlists, there are hundreds of these things in Gale crater, and we're finding them also in Jezero crater. So they do exist. That was established quite some time ago by me and a few other researchers years ago. I probably established it for sure around 2013, but by 2015 I was in absolutely no doubt. Okay, I've done a very, very basic reconstruction of what this would have looked like if it was intact, and there it is. All I've done is drawn the top of the head, back of the head, where the eye would be, and the rest of the nose. What we have here, if you look carefully, now I'll use the magnifier, I'll go back a bit, get the magnifier ready. Now using the magnifier, I'll point this out to you. This here is the jaw, here, which is quite small. There are teeth in here, 1, 2, 3, possibly 4. Right, this is a very small, thin little jaw. Coming up, this is the back of the head, this is the neck here, sticking out of the ground. And we have the very bottom part of the nose still attached. This is the cheekbone here. And this is a destroyed cranium, or partially destroyed cranium. Okay, it looks like the top of it has been shot off, or hacked off, or whatever, smashed. And there's the raw clip. There it is in the raw clip. So you can see all that in the raw clip. It's definitely there. And there's the reconstruction there. And you can see where I've drawn that. Now that's an estimation of what the head shape. It may have been a bit taller, the head. A lot of the heads are quite elongated on Mars, but some are very human in shape, as I've shown before. Some of them are quite pointed, some of them are quite long, but some of them are very human looking. In other words, like you or me. Okay, so I've given it a human shaped cranium reconstruction. Real simple, just outline drawing. I didn't see any point in doing any more than that. It just demonstrates how easy it is to fit that onto there, and how this is highly likely to be an actual skull of a humanoid. Not necessarily completely human, but a humanoid. Okay, there we are. And there's also this. Now, this is something I only spotted when I was doing the Gigapan over here. Now, this may look insignificant, but this thing is absolutely enormous. You've got this weird sort of almost egg-shaped or oval-shaped structure with sort of legs or a part coming off the side here. Now, this is a long way off. I'll show you in a minute up here. But I'll just show you the magnifier first. Here it is. It's on a mound right at the back of the lake bed. Here, this is a mound here coming up. And then we have this sort of ovoid structure, okay, like a building. There's the baboon there behind this group of rocks, and he goes straight above and then slightly to the left, and there it is. You can actually see it quite clearly. If you use the magnifier, you can see it just there. A strange ovoid structure, totally artificial, I would say. Absolutely artificial. I mean, why would something like that just form on a mound with what seems to be a structure in front of it and to the side of it here? Crazy, absolutely crazy. And there's some crazy stuff in this background here. Some of these structures, there's what look like boat wrecks and things in the right at the back here. Now this is miles away. There's stuff at the back, so you're not going to see a lot of detail because it's a long, long way from the rover. I've just spotted this thing. I don't know what this is, but this looks really weird. This thing here looks like a petrified animal, or perhaps a carving of one. Let's go back a little bit, and there it is, sticking right up there with what seems to be a head or a skull on the top, with 2 eye sockets, a nose and a mouth. And this is the neck here coming down, and a body. Okay, I only just spotted that when I was doing this Gigapan. I'll take a clip of that. There's some other structures that I spotted as well, right at the back. This is about 3 or 4 miles away, so you're not going to see a lot of detail here. But even though it's that far away, you can see that there's a structure right here, okay? Right at the top of the image, just here. Okay, and it curves around like that. It's got a kind of roof on the top. That looks artificial, okay? It may even be a vehicle, but it's probably a structure, okay? Now that's a new find. I only just spotted that, and there's some weird structures next to it as well. But that was pretty cool because it's got kind of straight edges, The straight edge coming down here, kind of angled, and it's kind of almost like a UFO shape. It's really odd. Interesting. Okay, so there's structures along the back here, a long way off, a long way back, and you can't see them in a lot of detail, but you can see enough detail to work out that they're probably structures. Clip's coming up in a few seconds. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let's hope this gets more than a couple of thousand views. Considering I've got nearly 42,000 subscribers, I'm not getting a lot of views at the moment. I think mainly because YouTube are not sending my notifications to subscribers, so they don't even know that I'm putting out videos, a lot of people. And also there's quite a lot of censorship going on YouTube at the moment, and they seem to be pushing a lot of these fake bot channels like I mentioned in my previous video. So if you haven't seen my previous video, go and check the last 8 or 9 minutes of that out, and it points out some of these bot channels which are completely fake, who are getting pushed really hard by YouTube at the moment for some reason. Now, either these channels are paying YouTube to promote them, or there's some kind of psyop going on here, because they're faking a lot of stuff and they're just getting random objects and then pasting them into Mars images and claiming they're real, and they're completely faking it. So it's not very good at the moment on YouTube, I'm afraid. I am on lots of other platforms, but none of them are much good either. So there we are. So please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Please share it on social media, that really helps, and give the thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.